What's up, gang? Your boy Tyler here from Vant Trading. What's up? Drinking my powered by Zoa today. We're sponsored by Zoa today. Not really, but it's what's getting me going this morning. Hope you're all having a good start to your Memorial Day weekend. Let's just dive on into it. I'm going to be going through my trades that I took this past week from May 23rd to May 27th. Pretty good week. Actually, a pretty great week. Great week of trading. I killed it on pound yen. Did pretty decent on gold as well. Oil chopped me up a little bit this week, but ended up very good week. So let's just hop on into it and see what what this week had in store for us. So we'll kind of try to go in order of the day. So May 23rd. Start with May 23rd. And let's go to, whoa, all right. May 23rd, replay. So, actually go back one more. So this day, this is how the week ended the week before. And we were pushing into this level of support / resistance, broke above it, had a nice wick, bullish push. So I expect it's a continuation up because we were wedging in here nicely. So I was looking for buys. And so let's go down to let's move along into the New York session. This is London session. Perfect. So this is a great example first to start off with. So I was coming onto the charts right in here. This week I was trading a little earlier than usual. Usually I trade 6:30, 7 o'clock to like 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. And I had noticed that price was moving bigger earlier. So the volume was coming about an hour or two earlier than usual. So hopped on the charts around 4:30 in the morning, and I had noticed that we were putting in these ascending lows. And what happened is London session right here drove us up through this level of resistance, pulled us back down heading into pre-New York. And so what I had expected is I had expected a continuation back up. As we had profit taking from this big move, retested the breakout, and now we should head back up. So I was looking for buys. I hopped down to the 5-minute actually to catch this move. And let me first draw my level of support in here. I ended up being right around, right in here is where I drew it. Mainly because we had this support here, this resistance, this hesitation, resistance, support, and so that was the best place to put it because obviously we had these above, but the most of the resistance and support was where I drew that level. So I drew it right there, finding support, hop down the 5-minute, and boom, this is where I took my entry. So I took my entry, 15-minute had closed. Ignore this big bullish 15-minute because I'm on replay. So we'll actually pump it back a little bit. So I was taking a look at it, and I had noticed that, okay, we had this nice bullish push off of it, this one last retest to shake people out, left a wick, closed as a weak bearish candle. So I was looking for an entry based off the 5-minute after that. And so we had this candlestick. Wasn't enough to convince me to buy yet. But we were creating higher lows, so I was going to wait for one more candlestick to form to buy. We had this candlestick form, closed bullish again, and I was like, it just felt like we were creating these higher lows, and it was closing bullish, and it really just was primed to just pump up. So I took an entry there. My stop ended up being right below the breakout point and the retest point right here, which ended up being about 14 pips. And I just wanted a quick 2-to-1 out of it. I didn't want too much. I could have been up here, but I just kind of went right in here where we had the level of support, the retest. So I went right at that retest pretty much. And it was just a quick 2-to-1, 2.2 to 1. And yeah, it just went right up to my take profit. And so that was a nice early morning trade for pound yen. And then it ended up proceeding to come back down and chopping around. So that was how I started Monday morning. Pretty good way to start the day. Made a couple thousand on that one. And then I believe I hopped into gold on the 23rd, yes. So gold on the 23rd. So let me hop on up to the daily and show you what we were looking at here. So after that pound yen play, let's replay here to the 23rd. Cool. So what I was looking for here is we're obviously in bearish. We've been in a pretty heavy bearish momentum the last 2 months. And so what I also was taking a look at is if you look at the overall trend in here, we're finding some support at areas we've found support at before. Right in here, right in here, right in here. So we've now found a higher low point in this, I guess it was about a year-long trend in here. We're now finding our higher low point. So we're pushing off nicely in here. But what we were coming into, this 1850, 1846 area, this whole zone right in here, this area, it was a heavy level of resistance for gold. And you got to know your levels for gold, because when you find your areas of exhaustion, rejection, like right here, big area to keep an eye on, because you had this wick on the bottom and all these wicks on the top. It also is right here where this indecision was, where this indecision was. So this area right here is something that I am definitely going to keep an eye on for rejection. So going into the day, we were pushing up into that area. So right here, if you look left, we are now pushing up into a massive area of rejection. If I draw it over, this is where we're pushing into, right? So bearish engulfing. I didn't enter yet because that was not enough confirmation for me. Typically when you get a move like this, you want to wait for a lower high point to form or a liquidity grab to form. So what happens, let me get back one, because I'm on the hourly time frame. I caught it off the 15-minute. Let me draw my zone in here clear. Draw this zone. Go down the 15-minute. Cool. So I think I even caught off the 5-minute. So yeah, I did. No, it was off the 15. I apologize. It was off the 15 and 5, right? Because what I had done was, this is the zone that we were looking at, right, with massive rejection. And so this is obviously trading against the trend, sort of, kind of. Like, we're obviously bullish today. We pushed off the lows from the last couple of days. But we were heading into resistance, and our overall trend is bearish. So I guess the overall trend from the last few months. So what I was looking at is this level of rejection, came up through some wicks here, closed very weak bearish, or sorry, very weak bullish. So what I had expected is, okay, maybe I'll take a short as we start breaking the low in here, stop above those wicks, and we should then have enough momentum to carry us back down. And so the 5-minute, I always hop down the 5-minute on gold because it tells a different story. And so if you look at it, rejection, rejection, rejection in here, bullish candle finding support, bearish candle, rejection, close, bearish, close. And then this candlestick went up, grabbed a lot of liquidity, and then started pushing bearish. And now if you know gold, that's how gold trades. It'll grab before it dumps. So I had avoided that, luckily, and it wouldn't have stopped me out because I had my stop above that area. But I ended up getting in short right here as it broke this low, and then my stop loss was above these highs. And then my take profit was at the bottom of 1853, and 1853 is a pretty heavy area of rejection for gold, which is why I put it there. You had rejection here, rejection in here, rejection in here, and it was back in the past as well, like in here, big wick here. So that was a big area for me for a take profit area. And so looking at the 15-minute just to speed it up, it went right down to it, found some support, and then chopped around for a little bit. So that was a great trade as well, about almost a 3-to-1 trade. And I believe that was all I had for the morning, for the day at least. So that was a great day. I ended up making a few grand on it. Let me confirm. Yeah, that was it. So that was Monday, pretty good day. Tuesday, I had a couple Asian session trades, maybe one. I know gold, I'm not sure about GJ, I'll look in a second. But for gold, I was mainly expecting a continuation down. So let's look at the chart replay. So I was in here looking at Asian session. And for me, it was pretty obvious. You have your levels, you know, your level of resistance, your level of support, and then whichever way it breaks will be a good move. I was leaning bearish, mainly because of yesterday. We had this big push, a lot of profit taking, big rejection up here, right? Had a last ditch effort to push up, couldn't push up and failed, and then pulled back. So I figured the buyers are getting exhausted at this point. So you're finding wicks in here, unlikely that we've squeezed up. So I was mainly looking for shorts. So what I had done is I had set a sell stop right here, right at these lows, as right before we start pushing down, right below this wick. And so let me delete all these drawings real quick. So yeah, basically I was looking for shorts, and it ended up right here. So I actually saw this happen and watched the trade. Sell stop triggered, stop was placed up here, take profit was just placed. I didn't want to get too greedy on Asian session plays. I don't really like to try to shoot for a lot because I'm not managing them, right? So Asian session trades won't be looking for big moves, or I won't be looking for, okay, maybe you can come down here at support and get like a 3.5 to 1. No, I had just tried to be a little more safe, saw this level of support here. I was like, all right, let's draw over here and get out here. Just in case we had a wick here, we could find some level of support there. So I was looking for a quick 2-to-1 play on Asian session, and it got me pretty good. And I thought I had caught it perfectly because it shot right back up. Came back down, found rejection, and then boom. So it was actually a really good play on my part. A little bit of luck there, but a little bit of knowing how it trades. Knowing how it trades. And then Asian session, you got to be a little more disciplined because you're not managing it. So great short on that one. Let's see if I took a pound yen Asian session play. I don't remember. The 24th, no, I did not. Cool. So that happened on Asian session. Didn't touch gold the rest of that day, but I did trade pound yen on the 24th on Tuesday. And this was when news came out. And this would be a good example to show you how I trade news events. So basically for this move here, we were putting in these higher lows, bumping against this trend line in here, retest it, and then boom, big drop. That drop was based off of a news, and so you found some level of support, and I'm going to draw this over. This is a big area of rejection on both sides here. So I drew this over as we started pushing down. And I don't look to hop on the sells here because my thing is I already missed this move. I'm not chasing it after this sell already drops 130 pips. Not looking to sell it because I've already missed the move, but you are going to get some profit takers. People who rode this baby down will take profit, and that means it's going to push it up and do a little bit of a squeeze. But with news events, I have to see one thing. There's something I have to see, or I won't catch the move, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay if I don't catch the move because what I'm going to see always, you know, humor me here, always, but you know, most of the time will work out from my experience. So what I was looking at in here is when you get this move, you'll get an initial pullback. People will be like, oh, it's you know, it's going to retrace here, let's pull back, let's buy it. And people are buying it in here, and then boom, breaks the low, stops them out. That's when it goes. So I have to see a pullback and then a run of those lows again right here. And that's where I expect a divergence play to come about. So yes, so if you look at the RSI is creating these higher lows, price is creating these lower lows. Divergence, number one, what I have to see. Or number one, what I have to see, break of the lows. Number two, divergence. Number three, more or less a bullish engulfing off those lows. And which is what we got right here. So if I were playing it safe, I would have bought after that bullish close, after we had actually created the divergence. Put my stop around the low. Anywhere near under this liquidity grab right here is fine. It shouldn't come back down below that liquidity grab. So if I'm playing it safe, I would have put it somewhere down here, like 13 pips. And then I would have put my take profit. I don't know. I would have found a level somewhere up here. It would have been a nice 3-to-1 play. However, I anticipated this play because I've seen it so many times, and I've seen how divergence plays work its way into being a good play. So what I had done is, and by the way, I play these off of the 5-minute, mostly off the news events, because you sometimes you'll miss it if you wait. Although the 15-minute would have provided a great confirmation as well. Broke the low, big rejection, bullish engulfing, could have bought right here, stop below the low, and looked for a move up. That would have been a very good play as well, but I like to find the better entries. And so after I saw that this bearish candlestick broke the lows and was sitting at this level of support, which is that level I drew from based off of the last few days, I actually hopped down the 1 minute to see if I could really find the best entry, because I was like, I want to see if I can just ride this thing back up. And so, and I don't recommend doing this, only if you've experienced. First start on the 5 and 15 minute, and then you can do this, but we were finding support at this area here. And after I had seen this bullish candlestick form, higher low, this bullish candlestick breaking the low but then pushing up bullish, after it had closed bullish like that, that's where I entered, because I figured, okay, we could have a nice squeeze from here, creating this divergence, finding support at this nice area of support that I found from a few days ago, and now let's see if we can create our divergence. And I was anticipating a bullish engulfing, which is what we got in the higher time frames, because that's how divergence play and news events work. So I bought here, stopped below the 1 minute lows, and my take profit was just back up at the hump here. And so hopping up to the higher time frame, maybe just the 5 minute. Obviously I missed a nice chunk of the move, but I still ended up getting about almost a 4-to-1. Take profit up at the highs here, and it just worked its way up. So that's how I trade news events, looking for a little bit of a retracement, profit taking in here, and then it ended up rolling back over again. But yeah, so that was a great play, and that's how I ended up Tuesday. Tuesday was a great day as well. Wednesday, let's see if I had any gold Asian session plays. Wednesday was the 25th. 25th was Wednesday. No Asian session plays on the 25th. So, all right, so let's hop at GJ. GJ was the first trade. Yeah, right here, cool. So this was a nice, really nice play. I actually really like this play in here. So this level here that I've drawn is the same level of support that I had found, that we used off of the news event. And so what I was keeping an eye on here was during Asian session, London session, we had, here's the open and close of yesterday, we had the lower wick formed, we started grinding up a little bit, and then we broke this low here. Lower high, and now we're pushing lower, and we had broken the open of today and then the close of yesterday. And so now I was looking for an entry. I was like, let's look and see if we can get these sells coming in. I was looking at the higher time frame. And here's the higher time frame. And so we were creating this, obviously we were creating these higher lows in here. And we had rejected up here, this resistance, and started pushing back down. So I was like, we should at least be able to get a retest of this support and another retest of this trend line as we started breaking those lows. So what I had done was, after this hourly candle was pushing up, making its wick, retesting this level of resistance and pushing back down, I then looked at the 15-minute or the 30-minute. I kind of hopped through each time frame as I'm getting ready to trade. This 30-minute had some rejected this breakdown here, closed bearish. So then I hopped down to the 15-minute and was looking for an entry. And the 15-minute was providing a lot of exhaustion to the upside, closed bearish engulfing, and then as it started breaking this 15-minute low in here is where I took a short. I had to sit through a little bit of pain, which is okay. I still, that happens, right? That happens. But I had a good stop loss. Stop loss was up at these wicks here, so it never hit it, but ended up grinding right back down into this level of support that I was looking for a move, and a nice quick 2-to-1 play on that one as well. I wasn't looking for a big one because you got to know where you're at in the higher time frames, and we were just butting up against that trend line to create another touch to head back up. So that was my GJ trade on Wednesday. Zoa White Peach. It's the best. All right, then gold. Gold nipped me. Bad trading on Wednesday for gold. I thought I was being smarter than the market, but I wasn't. And this is what I get, right? Because I was counter trend trading what I thought, finding these lower high points, lower low points. After we had pushed bearish pretty heavily through this level, you know, this consolidation that we had a lot of wicks in here, a lot of wicks. This is a pretty heavy area of exhaustion in here if I draw it over. Big bearish push through, bullish engulfing. I was like, okay, I think we could head up from here. I didn't catch it yet. I was waiting for a confirmation, and after we had closed bullish engulfing here, we wicked below, closed bullish engulfing. I was like, we should be able to at least get a squeeze back up to this consolidation here. Very clean traffic looking left. We closed back above this level of support. So I was like, it looks pretty good to go up. So I took a long and just started breaking that high in there for a squeeze up. We were heading into 8 o'clock volume, sorry, New York open volume. Typically we'll get that push up. Didn't work, had a lot of rejection, just failed. It is what it is. Not a terrible trade, tactically speaking, but yeah, I'm not mad about that trade. I thought we could have had a nice squeeze after this big push down, but didn't work. I should have, I guess, hindsight, just should have traded with the momentum here, shorted here, and then it would have kept going down, you know. So obviously hindsight bias, trade with the trend here and the momentum, but it is what it is. Still had a nice winner on GJ, so still up for the day. Alrighty, and Wednesday, I believe that was it. I don't think I had an oil trade, did I? Yes, I did. I had an oil trade, and I had a losing oil trade. Oil chopped me up a little bit this week. So basically, what I was looking at on oil here is we were creating these higher low points, right? So we had all these touches in here, and into today, we were butting up into this level of resistance. Broke through, came back and retested the trend line in that breakout. Once we closed bullish back through that level, and we broke these highs in here, all these descending highs, broke through. I was like, all right, this thing could have a nice squeeze, at least back up to this this wick over here. And yeah, it just didn't work. Obviously, it just absolutely dumps from there. Looking back at it, I don't really hate the trade. I thought it was a good trade. I guess what I could have seen is you had a lot of rejection in here before, a lot of wicks in here. It went back below, retested that breakdown in here. So this was just considered a fake out. Then it's going to continue down on to the other side. So I could have seen that if I wanted to, but I thought it was a good trade. What I could have then done is kind of hopped the trend. It broke down, retested that. I should have shorted here for a move down. I didn't, but that would have been a good play as well. So that's it for Wednesday. Let's hop on into Thursday, the 26th, and I believe I had Asian session trades. Yeah, GJ, Asian session trade. Basically, what I was looking at is this is that same level, one of the same levels that I've been trading off of back in the last few days, and that's why I leave my levels on there, because then they come back into play the next few days. So we are finding this level of consolidation in here. We are finding this level of consolidation. We are having this resistance here, support, resistance, resistance. So this right here, this up move, was creating the daily upper wick. And so I had figured, okay, we're rolling over now. We had rejected up here where we reject before, where we typically fall from. And I had taken a short, anticipating that we create our upper wick, rejected up here, we should start heading back down, rolling back over, retesting this area right in here. I had, I guess, hindsight bias. I should have waited for it to close below this level of support, because it was just ranging at this point. Because Asian session, you don't really want to anticipate things. It's more of a confirmation, look for a quick move and let it do its thing. But I tried to be smart this time and beat the market. I entered here, stop above this high, take profit down here, looking for this double top pattern, and it just didn't work. Obviously, it is what it is. So looking back at it, I should not have anticipated a trade and just waited for a confirmation on the Asian session. All right, and then gold, I believe I had an Asian session on gold as well. I did. So basically, kind of going with the trend here on the selling. I sold a lot with gold, and most of actually all my sellers were winners except for this. Then I had this buy loser. So looking at gold Asian session. We were obviously pushing bearish, right? We had this big down day yesterday, had this big profit-taking retracement, retested this level, and started pushing back down. Closed here, had this nice level of support, or this level of consolidation. And so I had waited for confirmation this time. After we had closed bearish pretty strongly with this swing high pattern right here, closed below this area. I took a short as it started breaking that low right there. It had created its upper wick, broke the low, took a short, put my stop above these highs, put my take profit down into here, which was the next level of support for me, and it went right down to it. Not right down, but it capitulated a little bit. But ended up hitting it pretty nicely, and that was a nice almost 3-to-1 winner there. So that was my nice Asian session trade on gold. So now looking into Thursday, my trading day, I had a pound yen play first. Very nice play. I actually really liked my thesis here. So you had this level of support right in here. You can see that by looking at this resistance, support, consolidation, indecision, wick. So after I had, let me replay. So basically what I was looking at is for the day, you know, this was a little tougher, but we had, because the reason it was tougher is we had a push up during Asian session, but we did reject that trend line. If you look at the overall move on like the higher time frame, we do have these descending highs, and we have this nice trend line that has been really rejecting for a while now, right? So we were pushing into that, and so after we had rejected that, we had a strong push during London session down, rejecting that move. And so we had come down, broke the low, bullish engulfing. So I was like, okay, you know, strong push up into New York session, close above this level of support. And so I figured, okay, maybe we'll get a squeeze back up into this resistance, which this level is the same level I've been playing off of this entire week, I guess. So this is a strong level I know that plays pretty strongly on GJ this week. So what I was looking for was simply support to be found and then looking for a buy. So right here, after we had this big rejection wick with this big rejection wick, rejecting this area in here, closing bullish engulfing, I figured let's put a stop at the support, see if we can get a run back up to this level of support. And that was pretty much just a QP to QP type of move, about a 2-to-1. And so went right up to it, and then ended up rejecting. So that was a great play on my part as well. Nice quick scalp up into that resistance. And then I had a gold trade Thursday. That was it for GJ. Had a gold trade long. I'm so pissed off about this trade. I had a great thesis. So I was looking at this level of support. Let me replay this. All right. So I was looking at this level in here, and we had been pushing down pretty heavily the last 2 days. You see yesterday, just straight selling. We had this retracement, higher, lower high being formed, and now we're pushing down pretty heavily again, pushing down into this support. We had this big wick here, right? Big wick, support. A wick right here, support. Pushed up off of it, created a lower high. Big wick here, support. Pushed up off of it, lower high. Big wick here, right? So I had actually ended up entering a long. I ended up entering a long, like right here, I believe. As we were closing with this bullish 5-minute candlestick, put my stop below these wicks in here. I was like, yeah, we're good. I put below all these wicks. I should, at least should get a nice push up. I wasn't looking for much. Just looking for, it was literally just a push back up into the support here, resistance somewhere. It was somewhere up in here. But look what happened. Let me hop to the 1 minute so you can really appreciate what happened. Boom. It just happened in a second. Ready? Watch this. Whoops. Boom. That happened in 20 seconds. Massive stop grab. We went, or order grab. We went below this wick, below. We just grabbed all these orders and closed right back above. And so I had gotten stopped out. Actually got slipped pretty heavily. I lost 2 times the amount I was trying to lose because this thing shot down. I was really pissed off, but I knew what that was. And so I entered long right away again. Not right away. After we had closed back up here, right Here is where I entered long. So after we had closed bullish engulfing back above this area of where all the liquidity was, I knew that this right here was stopping all the longs out and triggering all the sell stop orders, and now will probably run up to stop out all the people who were short now from this grab here. So I went long, and I was looking for a move. I was looking for a pretty decent squeeze, because if you look at the 15-minute and the higher time frames, we were getting really tight down here. We were getting really tight, small moves. So I thought we can get at least a squeeze back up to 1853, because it's ripe, and we grabbed all that liquidity to now squeeze up. Had a nice push off that, pulled back. I was like, all right, we're fine. Pushed up. So look at this. This wicks me out right here, and then the next 3 candlesticks marched right up to my take profit. Nice 4-to-1 trade. I got stopped out right before that. I was livid. I anticipated this squeeze perfectly, and it just hindsight bias. This was obviously a big area of liquidity that had a lot of wicks, a lot of rejection, right? I should have been a lot safer on this trade. I should have placed my stop below the lowest wick. Would have given me less of a risk reward, but I still would have had a positive risk reward. It still would have been a 2.5-to-1 risk reward. And so hindsight bias, should have put it below the lowest wick, knowing that this was a big wicked area, and it marched right up. So that was a loser, really pissed me off. And that was the end of Thursday. Going into Friday, Fridays I trade lightly anyway. It's less volume. It's just the end of the week. Some traders aren't going to trade Friday. ZOA. So, no trades on gold. Didn't look good. GJ, Asian session trade. This level of resistance here. This trend line that I showed you, that was a long-standing trend line from the last few weeks. Rejected it up in here. Started pushing bearish below this this point. I was like, oh, we'll have another pretty big rejection back down into this zone even farther. But I wasn't going to get greedy during Asian session. So I just wanted to back down into this level of support. And it wasn't ready for it. It hung out here, chopped around here for a long time before it eventually went down. And still, looking at Friday's close, still didn't even break down. So this might be a decent breakout opportunity for a continuation up for GJ, considering it's breaking the trend now. So lost on this, wicked me out before it would have maybe, and it would have wicked me out over here. Anyways, it wicked me out, just didn't work. But now look for a decent continuation up. Nice squeeze this week. I'm going to go over that Sunday when I create my Sunday weekly video. But yeah, GJ stopped me out. Oil. After oil, Thursday, had this massive move up, which I missed. So pissed off. I was looking for a mean reversion trade. I figured, all right, we'll come back, retest this breakout here, and then probably head back up. So what I was looking at was the level of consolidation that we had. Where's the morning? I was looking at it right around like here or something. So basically what I was looking at was we had this level of resistance, this level of support right here, and then yeah, so first off, we had this level of support level. Here's the consolidation zone. So how I trade these, I trade it a little differently. You could have initially grabbed the order on the break right here, and then look for a move down. You would have had to sit in some pain, because typically it then retest, goes down, I wait for the retest. I don't look for that initial push down because it typically retests. However, I don't look for a retest of that breakdown. I don't look for a retest of the support. What I look for after we have some consolidation, typically it retests the 50% mark for that consolidation before it then goes, because it's going to stop the people out who initially went short, thinking that this is a fake out then to then continue back down. So I drew my Fibonacci's for this consolidation somewhere or something like this, and then I drew the 50% mark right in here. And typically that you'll see that that's an area of interest as we're consolidated for a while, rejected. So that 50% mark will typically be an area of support anyway. So now what I'm looking for is, and I mentioned this in Discord, I'm only looking for a short if I get a move back down up to 114.100, which is the 50% mark of this consolidation, to then head back down. And so I thought I missed it. I really did. I thought it retested, pushed down. I was like, oh, it's not going to hit my 50% mark. It's going to keep going. I missed it. But now it came up, wicked me in right here. I thought I was so genius. I was like, I am a boss, bro. This thing wicked me in. I top ticked this thing. It shot down. Just going to dump from here. So I had my stop just above that area of that 50% area. So just my stop was up here. My take profit was back down to retest this breakout here. So I let it move forward. It actually came up to retest it again. However, I had shorted again right here. It had still rejected this 50% mark. I gotta look at Discord. I don't remember exactly where I shorted. I shorted somewhere in here as it was still finding resistance. It was still finding resistance at that 50% mark, right? 50% mark in here. And so I took another entry short. My stop was up here, and I was looking for a continuation down. And we got it, right? We were starting to push down a decent amount, but after it started pulling back up here, after it started pulling back up here and it was rejecting this area down here, I got out break even for all my trades. I figured it's already almost noon on a Friday and it's a holiday weekend. At this point, there's no volume left. Nobody's trade. This thing's not going down. And good thing I did, because it went back up and would have stopped me out. Didn't lose on this, but it just wasn't ready to go. So we'll reanalyze this Sunday. But that was my week. Pretty decent week. Gold. So out of the 5 trading days, I didn't trade that much, and that's the key. Only a couple trades, and I made a decent amount. Like, I made a decent amount. And so I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades on gold that week. 1, 2, 3. So I was 3 out of 5. But I mean, this was a 3-to-1. This was a 2-to-1. This was almost a 3-to-1. So I ended up doing very well on gold this week. Pound yen I did really well with. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades on pound yen. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. 4 out of 6 was winners, and they were big ones too as well. This was 3.5 to 1. This was 2.2 to 1. 2 to 2.1. So 4 out of 6 winners on GJ. So that wasn't bad at all. 67% win rate, not bad. And then a 60% win rate on gold. And then oil obviously got chopped around. 2 trades, 1 loser, 1 break even. But it ended up being a great week. And so that was it. Sunday, I'm going to do this I'm going to break down each of the charts and expect what to look for this following week. I hope you really find some nuggets in here. See how I analyze the trades. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section of YouTube, or message me in Discord. If you're a part of the Discord, mention me or talk to me in Discord about them. And I'd love to answer any questions you have. But yeah, that was my trading week, and I'm excited for Sunday and for this next this next week of trading. But that's it. I hope you all have a great holiday weekends, and I will leave you at that. Safe trading, guys, and have a good weekend.